is interested in joining the BRICS, the economic bloc of developing countries including Brazil, Russia, India, China and South Africa. The appeal was publicly made by the Northern African leader Abdelmadjid Tebboune during a TV interview broadcast last Sunday. Algeria's president said the club was an economic and political power that permitted to move away from the attraction of the two poles. According to the CIS World Factbook, the bloc accounts for over 31% of the world's GDP. The latest member to join the group was South Africa in 2011. On Sunday, Tebboune also said good news could quickly come, but events shouldn't be anticipated. The leader took part in a video conference between the BRICS members at the end of June. According to a senior French economist, Algeria is a heavyweight in the region, notably for its energy resources, but given the global geopolitical instability, the process could take a long time.
Plus expands into Nigeria. Nigeria is set to join BRICS Plus. BRICS will continue to advocate for equitable representation in international decision-making and to support global economic recovery post-COVID-19. The BRICS bloc is chaired by a sitting president of each member country in the order of the BRICS acronym, with India PM Narendra Modi chairing in 2021, China President Xi Jinping in 2022, and South African President Cyril Ramaphosa taking the lead on January 1 this year. As BRICS chairperson this year, Ramaphosa would be in charge of the bloc's expansion if new members were admitted. During the 14th BRICS summit, held in late June 2022, Jinping announced that Iran and Argentina had submitted applications to join the bloc. These announcements were followed by media reports that Indonesia, Egypt, Saudi Arabia, the United Arab Emirates, Nigeria, Kazakhstan, Senegal, and Thailand were also interested in joining BRICS. So is Nigeria really eyeing BRICS? How will Nigeria's political and economic landscape be affected if they are granted membership in BRICS Plus? How will this tip the scales of global economic power? Stay tuned and be kept up to date. Remember that subscribing and activating the bell notification feature will make you stay up to date with business, history, international relations, geopolitics, and world affairs shaping the global climate and our civilization. Nigeria has the largest economy in Africa. Services are the largest economic sector, accounting for roughly half of total GDP. Information and communication, which account for roughly 10% of total output, are among the fastest growing service sectors. Agriculture, which was previously the largest sector, now accounts for approximately 23% of the economy. Despite being the two most important exports, natural gas and crude oil account for only 11% of total GDP. Industry and construction make up the remaining 16% of GDP. Nigeria remains the country most interested in joining the new BRICS due to a variety of practical political and economic factors. In contrast to Egypt, Iran, and Turkey, where governments have recently faced turbulent economies, political strife, and diplomatic isolation, Nigeria has been generally peaceful and continue to have stable growth in GDP and other economic growth indicators. Adding more members is one way to give the BRICS new energy because they still have competing interests, different development paths, different levels of geoeconomic importance, and different levels of ability and have a significant impact on the global system. Nigeria's GDP increased by 3.54% year-on-year in the second quarter of 2022, exceeding market expectations of 2.6% growth and the prior quarter's 3.11% increase. The non-oil sector, with plus 4.77%, continued to lead growth with significant contributions for information and communication, banking and insurance, transportation, agriculture, and manufacturing. Because of its size and young population, Nigeria has the untapped potential to become the economic center of Africa and the world. Nigeria has one of the world's highest proportions of young people. 53.7% of its population is between the ages of 15 and 65, with a median age of 18. This means that empowering its young people could lead to long-term growth and development. Nigeria, along with Ethiopia, has been a popular destination for Chinese FDI and small and medium-sized manufacturing firms. Chinese investment in Nigeria has primarily focused on major state-sponsored free trade zones, or FTZs, such as the Lekki FTZ and the Ogun-Guangdong FTZ. However, a significant number of investors have also invested in private industrial zones. The allure of Nigeria's sizable consumer market, aided by import substitution regulations, has resulted in clusters of manufacturing investment focused on the construction and real estate industries, as well as household items. Nigeria is a major trading and investment partner in Africa for the BRICS countries. Nigeria's economy is the 29th largest in the world in terms of nominal GDP, and the 23rd largest in terms of purchasing power parity. Nigeria's economy is expected to grow at the fastest rate in Africa, with an average annual growth rate of 4.2%. Nigeria, like Brazil, Russia, and South Africa, is endowed with natural resources. Nigeria, for example, is Africa's leading crude oil producer, and Russia is one of the world's energy superpowers. In September 2005, Nigeria and Brazil signed a bilateral agreement to strengthen their mutual cultural and economic ties. Trade between the two countries was worth about $2 billion in 2005. Between 2003 and 2005, the value of Nigerian goods exported to Brazil increased from $1.5 billion to $5 billion. Furthermore, trade between the two countries has totaled $9.1 billion over the last 4 years. Nigeria has ranked 5th in terms of exports since 2008, when its merchandise exports to Brazil peaked at $8.2 billion. Nigeria is not opposed to joining the BRICS group, according to Nigeria Ambassador to Russia, Abdullahi Shehu, who stated that it is quite realistic in the future. Although accession talks have not yet begun, the ambassador stated that they are possible in the future. Now, why has Nigeria waited so long to join the BRICS? Though Nigeria is listed as one of the countries that have expressed interest in joining BRICS, a bloc whose goal is to reduce Western dominance and build a new economic order, its membership may be hampered by unique challenges. Experts list the country's low economic complexity, weak productive capacity, and fragile fiscal position as obstacles that must be overcome before it can be enlisted. There are no documented membership criteria or none that are publicly available, but almost all of the BRICS members are ahead of Nigeria in terms of industrial development and economic base. Leaders of the member countries said at some of its summits that they would continue to develop processes and standards to expand BRICS Plus as an alternative for championing the growth of emerging markets. The organization's popularity has skyrocketed in recent years. Iran and Argentina are said to have expressed interest in joining, as are Bangladesh, Indonesia, Mexico, Turkey, Egypt, Algeria, Sudan, Syria, Saudi Arabia, Pakistan, Venezuela, and Nigeria. While it could not be confirmed that Nigeria has begun the formal application process, unofficial sources told The Guardian that BRICS membership is the least important subject the government is concerned about at the moment. Abdullahi Shehu, Nigeria's ambassador to Russia, reportedly told international media recently that accession talks have not yet begun. He did not, however, rule out the possibility of doing so in the future. There was speculation that Nigeria would be the first African country to join the bloc until South Africa's application was ratified in 2011. Even former Goldman Sachs chairman Jim O'Neill, who coined the acronym BRICS at the turn of the century, said, if they could impose the level of leadership, a whole new way of governance in which corruption is dramatically reduced, Nigeria is, I think, very interesting. It's 20% of Africa's population, so it has the potential to be quite powerful, he said in response to accusations that he had left out some emerging economies to watch. With frosty relations with traditional development partners, including the International Development Fund, or IMF, many experts have identified the need to pursue an alternative path, but they believe Nigeria's chances of admission to BRICS are hampered by its sluggish governance and low international competitiveness. To summarize, the Nigerian government is still heavily focused on improving the country's logistics and transportation systems. This is critical for the development of an industrial ecosystem and production supply chains. The key to retaining foreign investment is to provide policy stability, a secure investment environment with the abolition of bureaucratic predation, and macroeconomic stability. This is a critical issue that cannot be overlooked as Nigeria strives to become a reliable BRICS member. And now let us hear from you. Will Nigeria formally apply for membership before the next BRICS summit? And will Nigeria be granted membership into the bloc? Share your thoughts and opinions in the comments section below. And if you have any suggestions for us, then comment below. And that concludes today's discussion.
Now, the thing is about that video is that this video is twofold. First and foremost, I was elated that Algeria wanted to join BRICS, and the reason being is that Algeria, or in Arabic, Aljazair, is the biggest country on the African continent. You know, at first it was Sudan, but then once Sudan became North and South Sudan, that changed. You know, Algeria is the biggest country on the continent. Furthermore, Algeria has the same similar resources that Nigeria has, right? Algeria, because of its proximity to the Mediterranean, has a more suitable infrastructure, has a more stable, I guess you can say, starting base to join BRICS. You know what I mean? Nigeria, though, however, made me elated as well that they showed interest in joining BRICS. What am I getting at? You may be wondering right now what I'm getting at. But you saw that all these countries have showed interest in joining BRICS, including my own country, which I have relatives in, Senegal. Apply this changing of the guard to modern women and dating. I compare joining BRICS to making Hydra, making migration. And the reason being is that these nations, some of them, which the West calls Ishhod countries, have decided that they were tired of the backyardism of the Western governments, maybe tired of the exploitation of the Western governments, maybe tired of getting peanuts for giving out their resources. I'll give you an example of this backyardism. In Cote d'Ivoire, one of the largest cocoa producers, these European countries will extract cocoa from Cote d'Ivoire, turn that cocoa into chocolate, then sell it back to them using the same cocoa that they took. There's no logic in that. I'll compare that with women. You may give a monetary, emotional, spiritual, psychological attention, currencies to these women. What do they give you in return? Most of the time, not even the bare minimum. Thank you, I had a great time. And then on to the next. Thank you, I had a great time means thank you for the food. I have leftovers for tomorrow now. But now countries, developing countries, are saying no more. It's time to hop on the train to something better. It's time to change the guard. Now, of course, some are going to want to stay in the old guard. You didn't hear any of the major European countries wanting to join BRICS at all. As a matter of fact, you didn't hear any European countries who wanted to join BRICS because they're comfortable with the old guard. The old guard suits them. You go to Africa, you take what you need, and it runs your country. We don't have that luxury. And I don't think we want that luxury. I think the only luxury we want is to develop ourselves. So now, when it comes to the modern woman, and when it comes to the Western dating and the Western relationship and the Western marriage, I have joined BRICS. And what that means is I'm opting for something else, away from here, away from the system, away from what they deem is okay. This is what I'm opting for. Now, keep something in mind. There are going to be challenges, and I myself have to get ready for those psychological challenges, those mental challenges that I may go through, and even the physical challenges that I may go through from going to a very, very drastic change in climate. The thing is that you look at Nigeria, there's some hurdles they have to get over in order for them to be a fish out into the BRICS fold. But guess what? Consider the West, be it France, be it Italy, be it England, be it the United States, be it Canada. Consider them Western women. Now they have their panties in a bunch because more countries are doing what they need to do. And the Western countries, of course, aren't going to join BRICS. But at the same time, Western women aren't going to join the Hijra because they're not invited to join the Hijra. Gaddafi, may Allah have mercy on him, was actually planning on doing a African central bank. European nations asked to be part of that African central bank. But the Africans he met with decided no. So, when you go on this journey, if you decide to take the journey, those women can't be a part of it, no matter how much they beg. No matter how much they shame you, you still must do it. You must still join BRICS. Now, your BRICS could be, for a lot of people, their BRICS is Philippines, Thailand, South America, Colombia, Brazil. Those are their BRICS. I'm not going to tell my BRICS because I don't want it to get overran by passport pookies and also other elements that don't need to be there. What I can tell you is that my BRICS is definitely, although influenced by the West, a Muslim country. Now, thing that we have to keep in mind here is that BRICS is not only being joined by a certain demographic, it's being joined by all demographics. You have UK men fleeing their country to join BRICS, where their BRICS may be in Thailand. You have Scottish, Irish, Asian American men joining BRICS in other places, wherever they may be. So this movement is a full-on movement that shouldn't be just labeled to one demographic. And then you have the African man. Moi. Ana. Or, in my language, me. Literally me. Who have spent time here. Who have spent enough time here to understand that the programming of the modern woman, no matter what her background is too strong. So you have to go where your BRICS is. And while we're talking about BRICS, that means you may have to build a couple of bricks wherever it is you're going. But guess what? It will be way cheaper to do it there than to do it here. And chances are, if you go to these developing countries, you're going to be even a bigger asset because you bring your expertise that you got from developed countries over there. But now you must think about this whole gender war that they put us in. You must think about it like BRICS. You must think in terms of you're joining something that is a better alternative than what they're presenting you. But with that being said, I don't want to go on and on. Leave your thoughts and leave your comments. Fuller signing out. SYSMB. Save yourself, Muslim brothers. Njara.